All right, let's do this thing. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, Take on Life. We're going to get right into it and talk about PhotoPills and how I use it today. And if you want to stick around, you like the video and you want to hear a little bit more about what the channel's about, stick around to the end. You'll hear me gab a little bit and give you some life updates and what's going on. But for the sake of the video, let's get into it and talk about PhotoPills. All right, when you get into the app, it's going to look a lot like this. The app is not free. I can't remember how much it was. Kind of bought this app when I first got into photography 4 or 5 years ago, and it is very helpful. I wouldn't be surprised though if the app was somewhere around $20. It took me a while to pull the trigger on it, but it is very useful, especially if you want to start planning out your shots. I've used it to find good angles for the sun in different areas, especially around that golden hour time frame. And it can be used in many different ways as well to figure out if you want to get shots with the sun behind an object, in front of an object, or try to get the moon or even the Milky Way. And I was into all kinds of photography back in the beginning, and I used this app a lot to figure out good angles, good lighting, and I did a little space photography. I still do, want to get into it a little bit more, but let's talk about the app a little bit. When you come in here, this is going to be the home screen. It's you get your planner, your sun, your moon, and those are the three that I use the most. I really don't know too much about the other ones. Like I said, we're going to talk about how I use the app. Spend a lot of time in the planner. When you open up the planner, you're going to get something like this. Pin dropped on there. I'm not quite sure. But you can move it around. Grabbing the pin, you can move it around. Let's say you want to go right here. There's a lot of information on the screen. It was a little bit overwhelming at first, but we'll start from top down. On the top, you have a few different menus in here to figure out different angles, different suns, elevation of things. I've used a few of them, but the one I've used the most is this one. Getting the galactic center, or trying to figure out where the Milky Way is or when it's going to be the most visible. Right now we got, looks like halfway up the bars. Decent time if you want to get a Milky Way shot, but if you click on the Milky Way button or just click on the Milky Way, it'll take you to the next available date. If you look down in my lower right hand corner, it looks like 4/17/26. Okay, so that was a ways, that was in the past. It is July currently. Click it again, goes to the next date, next date. So 7/14 in my current area, this is when the Milky Way is going to be the best to take. Again, this is slightly in the past. We click it again, and it looks like August 12th of 2026 would be the next time where I'm going to get the best visibility possible for the Milky Way. That being said, if I want to do a Milky Way shot, I would look for something around that date, and then down low at the bottom, you can start to scroll, through your days and kind of figure out if that day doesn't work the best, kind of like what the Milky Way is going to be doing around. You can see the bar kind of moving up and down a little bit. That's very useful, especially if you want to do some space photography and get into some Milky Way shots. And I actually have a photo I can share here. There we are. There's the Milky Way, and this was taken this was taken at midnight. And funny story, I thought a coyote was right next to me when I was doing this. I got the cold sweats and everything. My lens cap was grinding on my pants or my backpack or something at the time. Wouldn't be the first time though I ran into a coyote out here. Anyways, here's the shot. It's not terrible, not bad. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a good process. I think this was using my R6 at the time. My Canon R6. It was a 10-second shot. Oh, I was using my 35 millimeter. I had a 35 millimeter macro lens when I first got my camera, and ISO 5000. That was a choice. Yeah, there you go. Oh, 2021. Blast from the past. Yeah, I was trying to photograph a little bit of everything back then. So this was my space exploration photos. That's one way. That's one way you can use the PhotoPills app. Seeing as how we're talking about the Milky Way right now, we'll go and talk about the AR planner. Down at the bottom, you can go to, actually, we'll go here. Where are we? Where is it? Night AR, I believe it is. there's the night AR, and you can kind of see roughly where the Milky Way is going to be. You can point your camera roughly at the direction you want to find the Milky Way in. That was really fun and helpful. All right, the next one. Now, if you click on the date in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, the 8/9/26. Yeah, tough to click on. You can get the date to pop up. Click on date, go back to today, hit enter, and there you go. That's the date and time of this recording. Going down, you got a few different bars showing up. If you go in the lower right-hand corner, you can kind of see the layers of the screen. We got the sun, moon, and those are the two that are active right now. It's a little bit overwhelming to see a lot of this information, but basically what you're going to see is sunrise is that yellow bar coming in from the top right, the left, the lighter yellow bar. Sunrise, the bright yellow bar. Moonrise, or when the moon is above the elevation in which you're going to start to see it in your area, is going to be that blue bar, that light blue bar. And the darker orangish red bar at the end is going to be sunset, when the sun is going to set below the equator or below visible viewing height. And on the bottom, you can kind of get an idea of what's going on too with the sun and the moon, the sun being the yellow, the moon being the blue, the sun being the yellow, the moon being the blue. And that black bar across the bottom is when things are going to be visible in your area. The sunrise, you can kind of see it come in. As I bring it in, there's sunrise, which is your first golden hour moment, and the angle at which it's coming in from that top right, sun pointing down towards that pin. And you're going to see moonrise coming in. And as you move it, that is where the sun is coming from. We get sunrise, and now that's the direction the sun is pointing at throughout the day. And eventually, okay, the moon's going to start coming in and moving along with us. And we get that tight little golden hour right here. This is one way to use the app for golden hour, and roughly the angles you're going to be at. If you're going to drop a pin, I want to take my photo in this area, which tons of trees. You can kind of get an idea where you're going to place your subject. Say you want to hit them, you want to take photos of your subject during golden hour, and you want certain objects to be in the scene and the sun coming in from certain angles. You can either do it from the morning golden hour or the afternoon golden hour, and really plan out how you want your shot to look, when the best times are going to be. Give yourself a little bit of extra time, show up a little bit before golden hour, and use the app in that manner. Now, as well, if you want to take moon shots as well, you can see when the moon's going to rise or be visible in your area and what times. And the dark blue bar that appeared is going to be when the moon is no longer visible. It's going to disappear. And as you can see in the lower portion of the screen, it's going below the visibility line when it's going to be visible in this area. Same with sunset, sunrise. Sunset, sunrise, moonrise, moonset, I guess you can call it. That's a really handy tool. And if we zoom out on the map, say we're going to be traveling somewhere, let's go to, I don't know, Arizona. Right there. I don't know where this is. No, near Sedona. Cool. I'm staying at the Apache Maid Cabin. Why not? Really zoom in, push and hold on the screen to move the pin around. Plop it down next to this Apache cabin. And say I want to get a photo right in front of it. And we're going to go, you can scroll a little bit, get out in the future. Let's say we're going to plan our vacation around 8/12. So let's say I'm going to know I'm going to be there at 8/12/26. You can kind of see roughly what the day is going to look like. And it looks like, wow, this is crazy. The sun and the moon are going to be following each other almost perfectly throughout the day here. Let's plan our shot. Like, all right, we're gonna be there. We want to go out in the morning, roughly. Ooh, it's an early morning, 5:50 in the morning. We're gonna have our first shot at golden hour, and that looks good. Like, if you want the cabin behind your subject, let's say I want to put my subject right here in front of the cabin. That would be good for a morning shot, golden hour, getting that sun coming up from the left to the right. Afternoon golden hour may or may not be good, may or not be what you want. If you want to get some rim lighting on your subject during golden hour, but it's going to be behind the cabin at that point. Maybe not good at 9:06, but we could go, I don't know, behind the cabin. You don't really need to move the pin. You can kind of get an idea of where the sun's going to come in from. And the time zones below, as you can see, adjust accordingly. GMT -7. This is a really cool and very useful tool on really planning your shots. Oh, look, 8:12, we're going to get a good Milky Way shot as well. That's that's basically how I've used the app very heavily. I spend a lot of time in the planner. You can save it as well. You can save your plans for future dates. This is the pin I want to use, and you can save it to a new plan. Plan name, Arizona vacation. 8:12 at 19:21. Looks like it saves the date and time that I have here. And I don't. We go back. My stuff, plans. Okay, I'm sure it would be in there if I actually saved it. Go back to the planner, save it, plan, new plan. Upper right-hand corner, save. All right, let's go back. We'll go to my plans. There's my plan, and it takes me right to it. See if I can, okay, swipe from left to right to delete it. All right, the other two I've used a little bit for sure is the sun. Scrolling up, kind of gives you an overview of the day. You can keep on, so 7:25:26. We can start to see when the galactic center visibility ends at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's going to end, and we're going to start our day. We get the astronomical twilight that comes in, nighttime ends. Our golden hour is at 5:18. Moving on throughout the day, our next golden hour opportunity is at 19:44 or 7:44. Astronomical twilight begins, and at 10:30, 22:29, our galactic center visibility starts. You can use that as well, the galactic center visibility being available at 10 o'clock, to do your Milky Way shots. If you want to get shots of the Milky Way, otherwise, very useful for golden hour, both ends of the day, morning and afternoon. We get the moon shot. So this is your nighttime stuff. It gives you a little bit more concise to more nighttime things, astrophotography. I do have a sea star for another video that I want to use to really get a nice moon shot. Let's say moonrise at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 15:06. That's okay. I think I can actually do a shot with the moon, but typically I want to know when the moon's going to be up, probably later in the day, most likely. But it looks like it's going to go down. Yeah, it's going to be visible until what time is that? No, 23. 19. It's going to come up. Looks like, yeah, it's going to come up at 3 and go down at roughly 11, 19, 23, 19. So yeah, it's probably somewhere around here when the sun's going down would be a good time to get the sea star out and take some photos of deep space objects or Luna. And honestly, that's it. That's how I've used the app heavily. I do think just for those features alone, it has been worth it for me. There is a ton of other features in here, from getting your exposures, field of view. You can come in here and actually select the camera you want to use, your different ARs. All right, back in Planner as well, we can go into AR mode, which is at the bottom there, bottom left. kind of next to find, click on the AR mode. Now, this is helpful if you're on location and you want to get the sun, like maybe going behind a building, or maybe you're in Arches Canyon in Arizona again to stay on the Arizona vacation, and you want to see if you can get the sun in between one of the arches. You can point it at the arch and kind of go through and see exactly. Let's pretend that that post over there, you can see it, is my arch, and I want to get the sun right in that area. We'll see if it's available. This is pretty close once you do the calibration, and you can see that the sun and the moon, for instance, are going to be relatively close together at that time. This is actually using the pin that you're dropped in, and we'll make certain of that here in a second. But all right, for the sake of it, there we go. The sun will be in our arch right there, and you can see it's going to be around 1800, 6 o'clock. I want to be here at this time to get a sun shot going through my arch, which is currently that post right there. Very helpful there if you want to try to line up the sun or the moon as it's passing by an object. Really cool. I think because, yeah, the sun and the moon aren't following each other where I live right now. That is definitely following where the pin is currently dropped. And to prove that, or do a little proof of concept, let's go to my location, which would be somewhere in Wisconsin. Okay, so pushing and holding on the screen, I actually got to grab my pin, plop it down here in Wisconsin, then we'll click AR. And yeah, as you can see, the sun's down here at the moment. The moon is right there, which means it should be, there it is. Right there, there's the moon. It's pretty close. You can calibrate your AR. If we go to night AR, down on the left, there's the visual calibration. And if the moon is right there, we'll just kind of line up the moon where the moon is. Visual calibration. You can kind of spin it. Go right there. Confirm. There we go. All right, so that's the app in a nutshell. Like I said, most of my time is spent in the planner, and then looking at the sun and the moon for golden hour and the Milky Way shots. It's been really, really, really helpful for those things. There's an academy on here where you can go and learn a bunch of different things, video tutorials, guides, how-to articles, lots of useful information for photography. A lot of it revolves around space and different astro events that are occurring. You'll get some really cool emails on like meteor showers or different shots that you can get, say Mars or Venus is in view. It's good for astrophotography a little bit, and then obviously planning your shots. Most of my time has been spent in that planner, really getting good golden hour shots, when and where to be at different locations. Check out the angles that the sun's coming in from. So it's been very helpful. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the price. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned at the beginning. I believe it was somewhere around $20 or maybe 10, 20. And don't quote me. I know it was a little bit more expensive. Took me a while to pull the trigger on it, but ever since getting it, it has been totally worth it. There's packed with other features in there that I haven't even explored yet. But with the few features we covered, it has been awesome to use. There you go. That is PhotoPills. All right. If you like the video and you're sticking around to see this little bit about Take on Life. I do a lot of stuff. As you can see, there's a lot going on over here. If you watch the channel going forward in the future, you're probably going to see a little bit of everything that life has thrown at my brother and I, TK, being Thomas and Kevin. You might see him on the channel a little bit. This is Take on Life. Let's see. We got drones, we got cameras, I got Arduinos, software engineer by trade, photographer by hobby, and then I'm really just love learning and I want to share some of that. And this video, for instance, is me sharing a little bit photography stuff with you. I want to give back to the community a little bit because I have watched so much and learned so much that I want to help as well with in any way I can. A little bit of that, yeah. Started photography in 2021, and here we are in 2026. Had a really good go at it, from landscape photos to portraits to event photography to product photography to trying different astrophotography and getting into videography. I really want to share and grow. New little achievement for me. New achievement. Recently picked up the Canon R5, upgrading from my R6. Started with the RP. And I hope this will be my last camera body I'll buy for a long time. This is the one I wanted to get when I started photography. Thank you, Peter McKinnon, who I believe still uses the R5 today as well. um, and I just wanted to get more back into photography versus the video stuff, which is why I'm using different equipment now to do video work. Yeah, it's been a long ride, but we're gonna just keep doing it. As far as the channel goes, you're not going to get just photography. I'm going to probably do some recording on a bunch of different stuff I'm doing. I really have a cool video I got planned for the Sea Star that I want to whip out eventually, and then as well as working with this Arduino and doing some cool electronic stuff to maybe some software stuff a little bit, but I do that for my day job. Maybe you might share some stuff there, but really this is going to be about the life stuff, other stuff, hobbies, learning, growing, and any feedback is welcome. If there's anything you want to see, or if anything you want to hear more about, let me know. And all I can say right now is thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.